Are you there?
I am here.
Okay, I just got silent all of a sudden. I'm like, she just hung up on me.
Oh, what am I going to do with you?
Be my bestie.
I already am your bestie. I'm your person.
You are.
What am I going to do with you? It's a good thing.
All your Grey's Anatomy fans would know that.
Right?
She's my person.
I am your person. And it's a good thing Nerds at Night Gaming is not here to comment on what I just said. So.
Like you said, we have listeners of all ages.
We do. I will be nice. And they are very, 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 very generous people over there at Nerds at Night Gaming. A little dirty-minded, but generous.
You can tell it has been a while.
You can't tell it has been a while. I think we're chasing squirrels and rabbits and lots of small animals tonight. Yes. I blame you too.
This time it's you.
Why is it me?
Because it is.
Uh-huh. All right. Let's chase the rabbit back to the topic.
The moon rabbit.
The moon rabbit
back to the moon.
Yes. And our next...
I win.
Except that our next ship that we're going to talk about is Usagi and Seiya, and I'm going to hide from the many things that are probably going to be thrown at me here. And not even just by you. Because I know that there are a lot of people that have their opinions of Seiya was a stalker, Seiya was butting in, Seiya had her own princess, his own princess, depending on whether we're talking about anime or manga canon. But for me, one of the appeals of this pairing, of this ship, is that there wasn't some predetermined path. There wasn't some forced, the universe says you're supposed to love her, there wasn't any of that. And what all Seiya did was love Usagi Tsukino. She didn't love Sailor Moon. She didn't love Princess Serenity. She loved Usagi Tsukino. And I refer to her as she because I am more of a manga canon person, so no offense to anyone who is an anime canon, has an anime canon preference, or anyone who prefers that incarnation for transgender reasons. Nothing like that. I'm a manga fan. That's how I write. That's how I think. So, but she did. She loved Usagi. She loved the goofy, klutzy, dumpling-headed blonde who she met in school. She met outside of school and then went to school with. But she didn't love because she had to. She didn't love because she was supposed to. She loved in spite of the fact that she wasn't. They weren't staying. This wasn't their world. They had their own princess. She loved her anyway. And to me, it was incredibly pure, and so I kind of fell in love with that ship. That's probably that's probably the closest to an OTP I have.
Oh, wow.
But even then, it's still not an OTP, because obviously I look at other things too. Yes, you can say something.
Okay. As much crap as I give you for this, that's all it is. I don't hate the Starlights. I even really don't hate this pairing, and it's not because of the reason that you think it is. But because I can totally see that. And yes, I did feel bad in anime when she told, because I'm going to say him because it's an anime, whenever he asked her, am I not enough? I actually felt bad for him.
I felt bad too.
That being said, I shipped her and Usagi. Her and Mamoru more. Usagi and Mamoru more. But I could ship it if I really wanted. The right stories came along.
Well, the right stories do come along, and I have read some really good ones. But
I've read a couple.
I read some really good ones. And some really cute ones. But yeah, so that's my whole spiel, is that Seiya loved her not because she had to, not because Destiny told her to, not because she was Sailor Moon, not because she was a princess, but just for her. So, that is my Seiya and Usagi soapbox. So now we can talk about some of the less canon, less major pairings, and I'm gonna let you start.
Let me start. Okay.
I'm gonna let you start.
So it looks like my next one is Mishiru and Ami.
Yes, because I can't see that, so that one is all you.
It's not all me. I've seen other people. Well, I've seen summaries of other people right now.
No, I mean that's all you, as in out of the two of us, honey.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. From some of the people that I have talked to that do ship these two, the only thing that I can agree with them is they are more alike as far as inner senshi, outer senshi. Mishiru has more in common with Ami than she does the rest of the other inner senshi. Like in the episode where they were racing in the water, they both feel really comfortable in the water. That's the only thing that I can think of that people get this from.
And
Poor Ami gets shipped so little.
I know. And yeah, I guess if you're looking at it personality traits, they're both more intellectual, slightly more on that reserved side. They both do have that same common element and some of that common hobby. So, yeah, I definitely get that piece of it, but yeah, I really...
And it could be because, too, that she gets shipped so little. I mean, really, people ship Haruka with everyone.
Yes.
Job. I know you.
Anyway.
I didn't say everybody. I said people. I don't.
I know.
But there are people that ship her with everyone. Just because she's a shameless flirt doesn't mean she has feelings for everyone.
Anyway. Alright, so getting slightly...
I lost what I was saying.
Getting slightly back onto the path of onto the canon path just a little bit, is the Mamoru Setsuna ship. And it looks like, I mean, you watch Crystal, you see and you read about the interactions, especially between King Endymion and Pluto from the 30th century, and it really seems like there's this one, and it really does seem like one-sided, but there's this one-sided crush. And it kind of makes you wonder how long it's been that way. And so I've seen and things, where you have this idea that it wasn't just Beryl watching from the shadows, it was Setsuna probably watching from the time gate too.
Well, even in the musicals, there's, and I know this is something else that you don't watch, but for those of you who do watch the musicals, in the, Ian Sensu, the final first stage, Beryl and Pluto actually sing a song together about it. About their love for Endymion.
Yeah.
It's really pretty.
But it is one that you see that if you don't see Usagi and Mamoru paired, it is one of the common alternative pairings for Mamoru is, to see him with Pluto's, because no one wants to see him alone. So, and it's one of the few shippings that Pluto gets, because Pluto is in the same boat as Ami and doesn't get shipped a whole lot. Pluto is the eternal third wheel.
She usually gets either Mamoru or one of the other sushi.
Yeah. Yeah, or she gets shipped as the third in a triad with Haruka and Machuru.
I didn't know how, like you said, everyone of all ages, I didn't want to offend anyone.
Well, they can ask their parents what that means, and their parents can explain it or not. But yes, she gets paired often, and that's that polyamorous situation too. So, but yeah, so that one happens, and I guess that leads us right into talking about Beryl and Mamoru, like you mentioned with the musical. So,
Well, musical is Pluto too, but I think we also talked about this in another podcast episode. And I think it's more Crystal than it is even in the manga. That it looks like she's watching him from afar, and that she's kind of pining for him.
Yeah. Like even back in the Silver Millennium, that's why she turned to darkness.
Yeah. And in that same musical that I was talking about, Galaxia comes back, revives Beryl, and she promises her Endymion whenever she's done. That's how she gets her to do it, do her bidding. Of course, she doesn't deliver because it's Galaxia. What do you expect?
Right.
But right. So that is there.
It is. And I think that even though it's mostly supported through Crystal, I think you look at the classic 90s anime and you can see it a little bit too when she turns Endymion, and even then she's kind of, especially when Sailor Moon is around, kind of still hanging on him and, look, he's my Endymion now.
See, but I don't know how much of that was just to say, oh, look, I can have him now and you can't, just to spite her, or how much of that was, for as much time as they gave the 90s anime, there's a lot more that they could have really explored a little bit deeper.
Well, yeah, there is.
Cut some of those fillers out and put some other stuff in.
Right.
I sound like I'm bashing it so much, but I'm not, but
it was flawed. It was especially a flawed dub and translation, and we've covered that one too, so
I'm having nightmares.
I know. But yeah, and maybe, with different pairings with our, main heroine and her love, we kind of touched on this a little bit, is the unique relationship between Haruka and Usagi.
Oh boy.
And there's a lot of people out there. This was already actually a fairly common ship, and the third season of Crystal just served to solidify this as a potential ship among fans. I know because the one story that I have written about the two of them, actually no, the two one-shots that I've written, the two short stories, have gotten a lot of coming of, I now really ship this ship because of Crystal and all of that. And those interactions in the beginning of the Infinity Arc where, Haruka kisses Usagi, and then Usagi dreams about Haruka and their encounter in the park, and they really build this very alluded to connection. And